Hello lovelies, welcome to Christy Grows. Just a quick video with an update on my garden at the end of August. You can see we're here, we've still got sunflowers going. I did a bit of work yesterday, didn't have time to film it. Actually, well, a bit of work, I did actually a lot of work. And it was amazing. I don't often get that much time to do the gardening. Everything is always just quick job, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. So it was nice and I'm feeling it in my body today. But I'm going to just talk you through what I did and show you around a little bit. So here we go. So if you look back at my other videos, if you haven't already seen them, you'll see that this was really heavily planted up. I'd left everything to go a bit wild. So yesterday I tied up some of the tomatoes. I've got a couple of peppers in here growing. I was tempted to just rip them out because I've got great peppers actually in the greenhouse, but they're growing, so I've just left them. And you see, these are my yellow bananas coming in now. These are all yellow banana tomatoes, some nice ones. These are my Egyptian walking onions, so I've planted them very closely together. I wouldn't have done that if I'd have realised. I think you need to plant them a bit further apart, but I'm hoping they're going to flower, and they're perennial onions, so I will replant those bulbils that will come off the end when they flower. That's my garlic chive there, holding on for dear life, and I'll separate that next year. But I'll explain this. This is a bit of mulch. I'll explain this in a minute. So over here then, again, more tomatoes. You can see these are, now these are a different shape. So these are the banana, yellow banana. So actually these might be a different one. These could be banana or something else, I'm not sure. These ones might be black cherry, I'm hoping so. If you have a look at my greenhouse video, I'm not sure whether one in there is black cherry or one in here is black cherry. But this is my strawberry bed, so you can see all the runners are going off and making new plants, and I'm just letting them spread everywhere. But I've got some spaces. Usually what I did this year is planted my garlic in amongst the strawberries, and that worked really well. That's a self-sown lemon balm which I found over there, which is great, and it's a lovely big plant, so I just potted it in there because I don't want that in there. These are Welsh onion, more Welsh onion here, so these are perennial onions, and then more tomatoes here. So this again might be a black cherry hopefully, and then some yellow banana behind it. And now what I did, if you look at my other garden tours, I'll try and link them in the box below. I had two massive irises here, and that was a mistake. I was hoping to bring in pollinators, but actually it just took up loads of room and shaded this little bed out here. So actually my beans didn't grow this side. So apologies, let me come back to you. I can hear someone calling me. My little love needs me. I'll be back. Phew, I'm glad I went then, because that was a play emergency. Oh, right, back to it. So let's just tidy up a bit. Right, so as I was saying, here I had those huge irises. So what I decided to do, I dug them out and I'm going to put them somewhere else. But I've cut them right back, and I've used the stems, as you can see, as a mulch. So they'll just mulch down into the ground, and I'm hoping they'll dry out with the sun a little bit as well. And that'll just help retain water. So there you go. And what I've done as well, it's a bit difficult, isn't it? I'm going to spin you around so I can show you properly. So what I've done as well is I've planted out some cabbage seedlings. So there you go. And I'm protecting them with these plastic bottles. So I've just cut them in half. You know, we all have plastic bottles, sadly. So I've just cut them in half and I'm using them as mini greenhouses, and that's protecting them from slugs, giving them some protection from slugs, giving them a bit of extra heat to help them grow on so they're ready for autumn, keeping the butterflies off them mainly. That's where I got the idea, because I can't put a net over here because I've got tomatoes and stuff growing, and I don't want to leave, it'll be too late to plant out. So there's a tip: use those to protect your brassicas and not hold you back from planting an autumn garden when you've still got summer crops. So that's what I've done there. And yeah, here is my squash plant. It's the only one that's survived and seems to be, I hazard to say thriving, because it doesn't look that healthy, but it, compared to the others, it does. And it's flowering, but it doesn't really have any fruit flowers on it. So I think the ones on the plot have died, well, are not producing at all. Oh, look at this, wonderful. See, nature at work. I've got ants and I've got aphids. So aphids are all over here, and I reckon the ants are eating the aphids there. So there you go. Let nature work. So I don't use any sprays or anything on my garden. So yeah, these are producing very small crops. This is a climbing bean here, but it just hasn't climbed because it was shaded completely. All of that was shaded until yesterday. And I've got a lovely Cosmos and Rebecca there. So the beans are doing beautifully. So these are the runner beans, have come back to life and all of a sudden shot up and producing more. That I believe is a dahlia that we saved. Things are dying off now because of the heat that we've had, but I've still got tomatoes growing here. I've pinned these tomatoes up finally. I pinned that one up as well on a stick. These, finally, my what is this? Answer in the comments. I can't remember what it's called now. Oh, zinnia. Finally come up. And yeah, have a look at my, go back and have a look at my other videos. I'll try and remember to tag it in the box below, but I made this new bed just a couple of months ago with my son, and it's doing so well. I mean, it's grown so amazingly, and I did it all for free. I didn't spend any money on it, not even on compost. And look how everything's growing. So you can be resourceful. So I'll tag that video so you can go back and have a look at it. But yeah, a few flowers. I did have cabbages in here, but they've been eaten, and I'd left them there to be eaten by the butterflies, the caterpillars. This is wild. I need to cut all this back now because this is weed, but it's nice because it flowers. It's just a free flower. Weeds are just free flowers. So there you go, but I don't want them seeding everywhere, so I need to take that seed off, but you know what, I'm not going to, so next year it'll be wild again. This, I don't know whether it's actually going to flower because I think it's been in distress with the heat. I haven't noticed it flowering, but actually I can see my gardener's nails there, so I can't, I'm trying to get it to focus. I can't get it to focus, I apologise, but there are seeds on there, so it must be actually going to seed, but I didn't even notice it flowering. But this is herb fennel, so I'll use the seeds. Yeah, that is seeding, isn't it? So it must have flowered. Okay, I thought it was still waiting to flower. There you go, it's seeded already. You can see that's struggled anyway, because it shouldn't look like that, it's so dry, but I've spoken about that in other videos. This is my hops, that's finally flowering as well. I've still left these wild. I do need to get them up, but that's another day. But they're growing beautifully. I can't remember what these are. but some of them have been yellow that have come off. I don't know what the rest, I don't know what those big ones are. They might be super steak, but these have all fallen over from the pots, but that's fine. They're still colourful. Carrot seed is drying out. So these are rudbeckias, and they've been flowering for months and months and months. If you only plant one flower, cosmos and rudbeckia, they're just gorgeous. And this has been months and months and months. Next year I'm going to make sure I get it all over the garden. And the sunflowers, I love them. And yeah, the beans. So the beans are still going. I've had a whole bag of beans off here so far, and they're still going. Look, there's even more today. There they are. And I won't go over there. The sedum is finally coming out there. Over there I've got a new artichoke that's coming out. I need to cut that one back, and I've got an offshoot that I've grown. I've just planted today some dwarf yellow beans. Today it's Bank Holiday Monday in August. I can't remember what day it is. I think it's the 26th maybe. And then there's my raspberries, and in the winter I'm going to put in more raspberry canes down here. And I might possibly do 2 beds of raspberries because they've done really well there. Not much grows in that bed there because it's a lot shadier because of that wall. I haven't decided yet, but they've done really well there because you need to pick them every day, and I can't get down to the plot to get them. So I'm going to move them back here, I think, so I can do that and make the plot more perennial. But yeah, there we go. So it's looking a bit dry, to be honest, because it's really suffered, but there's lots of colour still. And oh, look at that beauty. Oh, sorry, I just bothered it. Oh, that was lovely. Quick pot of basil growing there. A bit of coriander coming up. What was that, parsley? I can't remember which one that was. Oh, it is parsley, curl parsley. So finally I've got parsley coming up. So these are doing okay. These are my stack containers. I'm trying. I got those only a couple of months ago, and they're growing nicely. So I've got salads, beetroot, parsley, bush beans down here, chive salad. Here is my only Brussels sprout, because the flea beetles came in last week, and 2 days they just took everything that I'd got, and luckily they missed this one. And you can see I've been battering off the caterpillars. Oh, here they are again. There you go. And a bucket of carrots. So I've tried to space these as much as I can to try and find it. Carrots are my nemesis. I just can't grow them. I've just put those in last night from the tray because they've been dying to get out. They're red vein sorrel, more parsley, more bush beans, loads of stuff. These are my trees. I've been climbing beans up these trees. I've got my pots now. These are my Christmas potatoes that I've got here. These are just my pots of weeds. Again, like I said, they're free flowers. This is one I didn't plant. Obviously this is an actual flower, it's, Verbena borealis, but I didn't plant that there. It's just come along. It's likewise with the Aquilegia. I didn't plant that there. I didn't plant that there either. I can't remember what this one's called, but you know what it is. Oh, this one's the lamb's ear, I think it's called. Didn't plant that there. And this one, I can't remember what this is called, but it's got a pink flower at the end. Sorry, this video is going to be really long. Random tomato I put in there. It didn't do very well, so I won't do that again, but it has produced some fruits. I think these are zinnias down the bottom, and actually they're meant to be annuals, but I left them in there and they've all come back from last year. Excuse me, I'm talking. Right, everyone wants me, don't they? I'm so popular. This is my tray that hasn't produced anything yet, and this is, I used to think this was dampening off and got worried, and I'd always panic about it, but actually I think it's the mycelium. So because I've had it several times on this compost. This is the recycling centre compost, and you know, I've kind of brushed it off and then they've been fine, but I think it's actually mycelium. So yeah, more bush beans, more parsley, beautiful bunch of beetroot there, more strawberries, more tomatoes, and then this is a new bed that I've done. So this is on a north facing wall. North is this way, so I'm a south facing garden, but because of this wall it's really low light, and because now, so the sun tracks over here and now it's getting lower, so then I'm not actually going to get much light over here. So I put rocks to remind me where I've put stuff. So I put some rows of stuff. I think I've done spinach, I've done perpetual spinach, I think I might have done some beetroot, and then those are Calabrese, those rocks. Oh look, the doggy's been in here, he's moved my rocks. Yeah, so I put Calabrese. Yeah, well that's a test really for the winter. It will do better in summer because it gets dapple shade here, and I actually grew some bush beans down here, so I tested it this summer and they did grow. Quite late I tested it, but they did grow, so I know I can grow some stuff here. But winter obviously it's different. So I've tried to get shady crops or things that will tolerate shade and see whether they will grow or not, so we'll just watch this space. So that is the courtyard garden at the end of August. So it's not a very glamorous tour, but sorry I've been very quick as well, but I'm aware that I've made a very long video and people don't tend to want to watch me for too long, so if you did get to the end, well done, thank you so much for watching me. Comment below and say hello to me because I'm very friendly and I like to chit chat. If you enjoy my videos and follow me along, so please think of subscribing and press that like button because it helps share my videos to other people. YouTube doesn't seem to like me and is not sharing me very often, but yeah, I'll put some of those links in below for the other videos as well, and check out my other videos. I'll try and put some suggestions on now for other videos you might like, but that's a quick here we go, that's a quick tour. Well, it wasn't a quick tour, was it? It was a quick chat from me, but here we go. Digger, say goodbye then. Look, we've been so rude. And you know, I always wear a white top when I'm gardening, and look at the state of me. I ruin all the nice tops I've got. I ruin because I just go straight out in the garden and get muddy, and now I'm tripping over the dog. Right, that is time to say goodbye. Right, happy gardening everyone.